Hi. I'm terrified right now. You guys clearly know how to party with a 7 a.m. breakfast. It's very exciting. Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. It's an honor to be here hosting the BEA Children's Breakfast. When I was approached to host, I was terrified. I have no problem when I'm hiding behind a character, but being myself in front of a big group of people is very scary to me. I think it's because I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm sort of a strange dude. I'm a 34-year-old man with a house full of puppets. Which there's a context now, because I wrote the Muppets, but for a long time I was like an unemployed grown man with a house full of puppets, which is creepy. And then it occurred to me that I might feel at home in a room of people who love children's books, and I definitely do. I'm also self-aware enough to know that hosting a children's book convention pushes my adorable level to like 1,000. So, on behalf of my mother, thank you. I'm honored to be part of such an amazing lineup of children's book authors. When I was given this list, I was really overwhelmed. I've written a few scripts, but this is my first attempt at a novel. So when I decided to write a book, I immediately grew this beard, and I bought this sport coat, and then I set out to find somebody who knew how to write children's books really, really well. And I met my partner in crime, Kirsten Miller. Her Kiki Strike series blew me away, and there's no way that I would be up here discussing this book if not for her. So it was that spirit of collaboration that made me want to write this, made me feel capable of writing it. And I think books themselves are always a collaboration. They're a collaboration between the words of the author and the imagination of the reader. And there's nothing more powerful than the imagination of a child. I witnessed this firsthand on the set of The Muppets. Regularly, cast and crew would bring children to set for the opportunity of a lifetime to meet Kermit the Frog. Now, it's not something that we like to acknowledge, but Kermit the Frog is, in fact, a puppet. Operated by a very, very talented puppeteer. But when a child meets Kermit, something absolutely magical happens. There's a puppeteer named Steve Whitmire who's often in plain sight, and Kermit's voice is very clearly coming out of his mouth. But without exception, something amazing happens. When a child meets Kermit, Steve Whitmire, the puppeteer, disappeared, and there was nothing left but Kermit the Frog, living, breathing, talking. Kids are capable of creating a fantasy world of their own making that is more rich and complete than anything that I could hope to create on screen. And because every child is reading through the lens of their own imagination, each has an experience with a book that is entirely their own. And I knew that this was a collaboration that I needed to be a part of. So I've got to be honest, there's a part of me that's remained forever 12 years old, like maybe 10. Even in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which has some adult material, it ends with a lavish puppet musical, which was not an easy pitch by any stretch at the time. I believe the studio executive said, I don't know, man, it's your movie. Really. But I think that I've retained a sense of childlike wonder because I got caught and mesmerized at a very important age by some masterful influences. Roald Dahl, Edward Gorey, Jim Henson, Tim Burton. Books like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, and movies like Labyrinth and Goonies and Beetlejuice. They found me at a really important age. We don't even realize it at the time, but there's a moment as children when we say goodbye to the idea of not a care in the world. And we enter an invisible but really lifelong track. Elementary school becomes junior high, which becomes high school, which becomes college, which leads us to our big reward, a job, if we're lucky. These books and movies caught me right at this junction and instilled in me a very important idea, that magic exists and that I could be a part of it. I remember looking for buried treasure. I remember fashioning a superhero costume out of household equipment and sneaking out to patrol my neighborhood at night. I wore a Superman, this is true, I wore a Superman cape under my clothes until I was 13 years old. Yeah, just in case. But to me, it felt secret and magical and exciting, and I lived in my imagination. And these stories pushed me just to the edge of this beautiful line of fear and excitement and mystery and suspense. They took me to this secret part of my imagination where I was absolutely convinced that I was getting away with something, that I was somehow tricking my parents into letting me read. They can't know what's in these books, is what I thought at the time. The unfortunate side effect of my very vivid imagination was that I also suffered terrible, almost debilitating nightmares, which brings me to our books. Until I was 13 years old, I had 2 recurring nightmares. One was about witches eating my toes. That's so scary, right? It's like super weird, but really scary. And the other was a game of cat and mouse nightly in Dracula's castle. And the dreams were so vivid and so terrifying that to this day, I haven't forgotten them. Every single detail. And I once heard Carl Jung say that there are 2 kinds of dreams. Ones that we forget very quickly when we wake, the everyday dreams of our brain doing its processing. And then there are dreams that we never forget. This is when we are in receiving mode, when our dreams are connecting to something vast and collective and eternal. And these are the dreams that our story, Nightmares, are about. Nightmares is the story of Charlie Laird, a young boy with a very vivid imagination. And after the passing of his mother, Charlie's father gets remarried to a mysterious woman named Charlotte, who, for understandable reasons, Charlie despises. Charlie and his younger brother move with their father into Charlotte's mysterious purple mansion, which is where Charlie's nightmares begin. Every night, Charlie is tormented by a terrible witch who wants to eat his toes. More importantly, though, she wants Charlie to give in to his fear and darkness and come live in the nightmare world forever. Charlie's quite sure that this is just an idle threat. Nightmares can't do any real harm. Until one night, the witch kidnaps Charlie's brother Josh and takes him deep into the world of nightmares. With the help of a loyal group of friends, Charlie and his gang must enter the nightmare world on a rescue mission for Josh, facing their greatest and truest fears along the way. On their journey, they'll learn that our biggest fears are the things that can give us our greatest strength, as long as we're brave enough to face them. And as always, what I learned from the Muppets and Goonies, that we're stronger together than we are apart. I couldn't be more proud of the book, and I couldn't be more grateful to Kirsten Miller for her amazing vision and helping realize this story. She's just the best partner in crime I could hope for. I also want to thank Random House, Penguin Random House, for their unbelievable support in helping bring this book to life. I couldn't wish for a better team. My hope, very humbly, is that Nightmares might inspire and excite kids the way that my favorite books inspired and excited me. So that's my nightmare spiel.